Why do you think Virgin Money can succeed in challenging the large UK retail banks?
I think Virgin Money can overcome the competition from the retail banks and be a proper competitor because the power of the brand as a trusted brand in financial services is something that customers tell us really appeals to them. We've seen that in the first month of business that we've done, which is over plan. And equally, I think that the big banks have underinvested in their retail arms and customers haven't got a great service. And we're going to be really focused on service right the way through our ownership of Northern Rock to grow Virgin Money into a really successful retail offering.
Can a retail-only bank be profitable? Because, of course, one of the reasons banks got into trouble is because they didn't like the profits they were getting just from retail and they started doing all sorts of fancy things.
Well, I think that obviously in this sort of base rate environment, interest margins are very thin, and we've all seen that. And I think where we have a real opportunity is to build a base which understands that we're going to start from thin margins, do the best thing that we can do for the customer, make sure that our service is appropriate for the profitability that we want and that we can make, and to grow volume through great customer service. And so I think growing the bank and doing volume sales is the way in which we'll be able to get to the profitability levels that we want. And don't forget, we're talking here about growing a bank for generations to come. This isn't about making a huge profit right at the very beginning of our journey. It's about growing a long, stable, sustainable business for the future.
Many surveys show that UK customers are not that happy with their existing banks and the choice that they have from their existing banks. But why should customers believe Virgin Money is going to be different?
Well, for one thing, we don't have a legacy at Virgin Money. I think one of the reasons that the existing retail banks find it difficult to change and to innovate is frankly that they have a lot of profit coming from old products. So we saw that, for example, in creditor insurance, that it was just a difficult profit stream to get away from. Now, from our perspective, we can build new products quickly. We have no legacy to worry about. And we can build them to be appropriate for the customer today and for new customers coming to us, as well as the customers that have been loyal to us for a number of years. But we don't have to worry about maintaining profit streams from customers that have been with us for many years.
Do you think the sort of model you're pioneering here with Virgin Money could become sort of the norm for UK banking in the future?
Well, I hope that providing great customer service through retail banks for the future is something that will become the norm, because really what we're trying to do here is nothing that complicated. It's about bringing straightforward, transparent, good value products to customers and servicing customers well and building old-fashioned personal relationships with customers again. And I think that the big banks have frankly got too big, and as a consequence of that, people have felt that they're processed as units of transaction rather than as individual customers. So I suspect that the big banks will start to look at reintroducing that level of personal service, not just for the wealthy. So often the big banks provide personal service for their very well-off customers. We will offer that service for everyone, which is right and proper.
How do you respond to critics who say that Virgin's purchase of Northern Rock is a bad deal for UK taxpayers?
I think that without a doubt the taxpayer is going to get back all of the money that the government put into Northern Rock and more. Don't forget that the price that we paid for Northern Rock, which we are very confident was an excellent price, will be added to the money that the government received from the closure over time of what they call the bad bank, where there's a number of mortgages that continue to make profit for the government and will do so for many years. And don't forget that we paid nearly £1 billion at the end of the day for a bank that's still a loss-making bank. And given where bank share prices are at the moment, there is no doubt in my mind that that's a very good deal for the government and for the taxpayer.
Are you worried about the National Audit Office review of the deal?
From our perspective, we are very confident that the review of the deal will show that this was a process that was diligently followed, very open and competitive and transparent, professionally run, and where the whole process was competitive and we, I'm sure, offered the best price. I think that will be extremely obvious, and I look forward to seeing the findings of the National Audit Office.
You announced initially that, or you said in some interviews initially that you're going to be rolling out a current account product, and you had said you thought you would charge for that product, but it would be a very transparent product. Subsequently, I know Sir Richard Branson said, well, maybe we won't charge, or we'll offer two products, one that will have a charge associated with it and one that won't. I'm curious if you could just clear up, what sort of product you may be unveiling, and then, was it a mistake to have said that you would have a product that would have a charge associated with it?
I think that current accounts in the UK are very unclear at the moment in terms of what customers believe they've got from their banks. And so there is certainly a view that customers can get free banking from their banks. I don't believe that that's true. I think that many customers who are sold free banking get ripped off, frankly, by breaching one of the terms and conditions of their contract and ending up paying a lot of money that they're not aware they need to pay. And the other thing that I think is really unfair is, let's face it, banks make a lot of money. The big banks have made a lot of money for many years. And you don't mean, I don't think, to tell me that that's done through free banking. So there are one set of customers that are subsidising another set of customers, and I really don't think that's fair. So in building our current account of the future, it's our intention to be extremely transparent with customers about all of the transactions that they make on their current account and indeed on other accounts, and make sure that if we are offering free products, it's genuinely free. There's not one person subsidising another. And if we can't offer products for free, and let's be really clear, there aren't very many businesses that offer you something genuinely for free, that we charge appropriately for it and make that very transparent in the terms and conditions.